I'm Tracy Tackett, and I'm the gifted education teacher for Pikeville Independent. The first part of my day is spent at Pikeville High School, and then I leave and go to Pikeville Elementary, where I work there. And so my day is very hectic and scattered. But in working with the gifted ed students, I do have a designated class period, and they can take that class as an elective if they choose to. For the past 2 or 3 years, I have been collecting materials for a makerspace, and the classroom that I had was very small and not conducive for project-based learning and lots of hands-on activities. Although that is the way my class is set up. It's set up for project-based learning. Students identify a problem and then they work through a solution, and that's how they learn. They apply the things they're learning in the regular content areas to these projects. And so when I first heard about a makerspace, I thought, what is that? I didn't even know really what it was. So for those of you who are like me, it's just a place where students can go and tinker and create and build things that may solve a problem or may just encourage them to think creatively and then apply what they're learning to something that they want to build or make. So that could be through an entrepreneurial project or really anything that the kids are working on, maybe in other classes, projects teachers give them. And so some of the things that we have collected are 3D printer, 3D pen, embroidery, sewing machines, lots of craft supplies, anything from a pipe cleaner to paint, fabric. I have drawers and drawers of junk. Computer parts that have been taken apart, and printers, just things the kids think are cool, gears, fans, batteries, little motors. And so the kids have been using these projects for quite a while, but our classroom was not set up in a way that a group of students could come in and not actually be messing in the project another student is working on, because the room was so small and junky and cluttered, and I've actually had custodians throw away materials that students were working on because they couldn't differentiate what was an actual project. So it's just been a real problem. But this year I'm fortunate that I got a big actual classroom with lots of space, lots of storage cabinets, and the only problem was I still had the furniture from that little small classroom. I didn't have tables, I didn't have storage bins, and I had desks that were kind of the hand-me-down desks from all around the school. The backs were bent, for where the kids would recline. And so my 7th grade and 8th grade students have designed their ideal workspace. And so in the picture there, you can see science-style tables, kind of like you would find in a science lab, only they've been built by our maintenance department, and we actually have 2 of these tables already in the classroom. The kids have started using them right off day one. They're at a height where they can stand and work, because many of the kids like to be moving and they like to stand. Even I like to stand when I'm working, so those have been very popular. We're ordering these stools that are 24 inches tall that will be available to use if they want to when they're working at those tables, or they will also fit the conference-style table that we're having built. And the students found out that we could get some spools from State Electric, large wooden spools that, that cable comes on. We're going to be using 2 of those, and they're also the height that students can stand if they choose. It will have 1 large sheet of plywood, so it's going to be a large conference-style table, and the students are going to paint it, and it's actually going to have dry erase finish because they want to be able to brainstorm. They're always wanting to stand and write and brainstorm these ideas. They would much rather write on a marker board than on poster paper, so that table will actually have that type of finish, and that was their idea. And the science-style tables, when they built them, it has a board across the bottom as part of the framing, and my colleague here Michelle Scott, she came in and she said, oh, you have to put a shelf on that, and that's perfect for your storage. So by just adding another piece of wood at the bottom, we're going to have these storage bins right under the table, so the students, if they're trying to build something with robotics, which we also have that, everything's going to be very handy. The Legos will be there because things get scattered and lost, and any of you who work on hands-on projects with your students, especially art teachers back there, they know how supplies can just really be an issue if they're not well organized. So with our grant money, we're trying to make our maker space actually come alive through the furniture that we have. And this is mainly going to be through that conference style table so that we can still have group meetings, and then students can branch off into their own space and work at these smaller stations that are going to be set up. There will be a technology station. We have a large counter that runs the length of the room, and that's where the 3D printers and 3D printing supplies will be stored and housed. And then these other tables could be where the sewing and embroidery machines are, and so students can work on all these different types of projects at the same time, hopefully organized. And if you come back at the end of the year, you'll find out how it worked for us. So we're just getting started. Thank you.